If the idea of the Great Commission of being fishers of men, of making disciples of other people kind of stresses you out, like that's a lot of pressure on you, I'm going to show you how to make it super easy. Hi friends, I'm Toni, and this is part 5 of our 5-part series talking about everyday miracles, about how God is still doing miracles, about looking for them and recognizing them and asking for them. And today we're going to talk about sharing our God did that stories, those moments, sharing the stories about the miracles that he's been doing in our life, because we've been looking for them. We've been on the lookout. We've been spending time with him. We kind of know his MO and what he's doing, and we're starting to have a lot of fun in our journey with the Lord. So today we're going to talk about why it's super important for us to be sharing those miracle stories, those God did that stories. The first big reason is because it strengthens our faith. 1 Corinthians 16:13 says somewhere, 16:13, it says, "Be on your guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong, do everything in love." So, stand firm in the faith, because what's going to happen when we start to share those God did that moments, those miracle stories, those blessing stories, is that people are going to come up against us and they're going to be like, okay, that wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't God. Or that was just a coincidence. It wasn't God. You're putting way too much weight on this little thing that happened. Like, God doesn't care that somebody paid for your coffee. Like, that's too small of a story. But we know that God does care about the small things, and we know that he sees us and he knows what's important to us, and he wants to satisfy our desires. Those are all callbacks to previous videos. You should watch them if you haven't. We know that those miracles, those blessings are from the Lord. And so it's important for us to stand firm in the faith and tell these stories, because when we come up against those people who disagree with us, it gives us an opportunity to be like, nah, it was the Lord. So it strengthens our faith, because we have a choice in those moments, right? Where we can be like, oh, you're right. I guess it was just a coincidence. Or maybe it wasn't as big of a deal as I think it is. No, we don't do that. We believe that every good, what is the verse? We believe that every good gift it's James 1:17, that every good gift is from the Lord. So we believe, and we're going to stand firm in the faith, and we're going to share these stories, and it's going to deepen our faith, and it's going to start to minister to other people, which is the next point I want to make. So when we start sharing our everyday miracle stories, it starts to make people wonder about this whole God thing. It starts to make them think, is this real? Does God really care? Really? An example of this would be Mark 5:19-20. Well, it's a story about Jesus casting out demons out of a man, and he says, where's the verse? As Jesus was getting into the boat, the man who had been demon possessed begged to go with him. Jesus did not let him, but said, "Go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you." So the man went and began to tell the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed. So we have an opportunity when we start sharing our God did that stories. We have an opportunity to bring people to amazement in the Lord that they may not have yet. They may not understand yet. They may be curious, but now it's going to increase their curiosity and be like, that's interesting that God did that in you. I wonder what he could do in me. So it's so important that we share everyday miracle stories with others, because it can bring them to the Lord. It can bring them to the faith. It can bring them to have their own relationship with Jesus, which is so exciting. And the last point I want to make is that every time that we share our miracle story, our testimony, a story of a blessing the Lord gave us, anytime that we talk about God's goodness, it is an act of spiritual warfare against the enemy. The enemy's trying to bring us down. The enemy's trying to make us doubt and question and wonder if this whole Christian thing is real, if Jesus is who he said he is, if God really cares about the small, the ordinary things, but we know that he does. And every time that we resist the devil and we strengthen our faith, it makes him mad. And we want to make him real mad. And we want to encourage others to get to know Jesus, which also makes the enemy mad. So make sure that you are sharing your testimony, you're sharing your miracle stories, you're sharing your blessing stories as a way to make heaven crowded, as they say these days, right? So that concludes our video series on everyday miracles, on blessings. I hope that you have been encouraged and inspired and have started to see God's fingerprints throughout your daily life, had started to maybe ask for miracles or recognize more of the blessings that he's doing. That is my hope and my prayer. If you enjoyed this series, please subscribe, and always remember that blessed is she who believes that he would fulfill the promises he's made to her.